All right, everybody, welcome back for our wrap up for the Toronto Pro with Hassan Jama and myself. And it was an exciting show. Definitely a lot of unknowns. We didn't know who's gonna nail it, who's not, and it could have gone 5 different ways before the show, depending on, because some guys are more volatile, some guys are less volatile. And yeah, at the end of the day, I told you who I thought was gonna win. We were hoping, hoping. We thought that maybe Quint could have taken it away, but at the end it was Akim's show to lose.
No, I agree. I think the predictions were pretty good. I think the judging was, first of all, I want to say the judging was spot on. I think Becky was the head judge. She did a good job with the entire judging panel. I'm looking at the scorecard. It's exactly kind of what you thought, even before the show.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, some things can move around, but as I watch the show, the placings make a lot of sense, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2. But it wouldn't have made a difference from a top 5 point of view. I thought from 1 to 5, it was very accurate.
Yeah,
so good job on the judging there.
Like outside of the top 5, we can give a shout to Nate Spear, who made it in the middle of the second call out. He was really good. I told you that he was going to come in nice and tight and then pre-complete. His only problem is the fact that he's not as huge or as bubbly and round as some of these other guys were. But
he should have done better than 10th, though. I thought he was more like 8th.
Yeah,
but again, it doesn't make a difference because I think he got 10th. I'm looking at the scorecard now. He got 10th. Couple of other guys from that 6 to 9, 10 spot could have moved around a bit. I'm glad though Tim made it to the top 6, right? So
yeah,
actually
I was
5th, which is very good.
Yeah, with Tim, it's just, like, he doesn't have the greatest lines or structure, and that's very important today. And I told you, like, we were talking during the show, and I told you that I think that Tim is getting overlooked at the tail end of the first call out. He wasn't like a 6th or 7th place material to me. He was definitely up there as far as I'm concerned. Like, it wasn't a strong enough show. It's not like the Arnold where you can't compare the guy to the top 3. So I was really surprised that he's, shunned to the side, because like 10, 15 years ago, he probably would have fought for the win. He was one of the biggest, and if not the hardest guy in the show. So
his limitations is the structure, especially when he opens up on these type of shots, relaxed. You see this waist going straight down. That's his biggest issue. And then from the back, same thing. There's no real taper. But hardness, gnarliness, freak factor, he's got it. And as you said, if it was years back, the Toronto Pro wouldn't have had like 20+ guys. Like, this is a deep lineup. He could have probably won. Yeah.
Who's 6th in the scorecards?
6th is Mustafa, which I don't agree with
Mustafa.
either. I thought, yeah. So I thought
I would switch Nate and Mustafa. Like,
yeah, exactly.
With all due respect, he's a show winner, an Olympian, amazing competitor, but he completely missed it. He completely missed it for this show.
What do you think the issue is there? Because, like, I'm sure he works hard. I'm sure the diet's there. I think it's just the body might just not want to get to where it needs to be. Like some people, it's as if his body's kind of like giving up, in terms of trying to get conditioned,
I think
tired,
that I think he has to like have the prep of his life every single time. Like, he's not one of those guys that could be like, I'm gonna do like a 12-week prep, and maybe I'm gonna, maybe the glutes are not gonna be all the way in, but I'm gonna be in relatively okay shape. He's the type of guy that I think has to, I don't know, he has to risk it all just to get in shape. which is crazy. And I believe that, sometimes he maybe, tries to, just maybe cut some corners, maybe thinking, hey, I could make maybe top 5 here anyway on size and, and thickness.
See, that's
But
the thing. I don't know. That's the part I'm not sure about because he's had every coach, right? So I don't think it's a coaching issue.
yeah,
Is it
no,
the
no, no, it's
athlete?
not.
I don't know. I'm sure like he's living there in that area. The coach is seeing him, so I don't think that he's slacking diet wise or food wise. I seriously think that body wise, maybe internally or whatever, it's just not wanting to do or get into any condition. So I don't think it's a personally. I don't think it's a effort kind of deal or coaching. I think he's just kind of screwed genetically.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've seen him in shape before. Is he maybe, he's competing since he was like 17, 18 years old. So maybe
Yes,
he's 30
that's what I'm
something by
thinking.
now.
Yeah.
So maybe that's another issue. He's been basically competing every year for the past more than 10 years. So maybe that's
I remember
another.
when he won the junior world, actually, he won the world juniors. I think it was in Mexico. The guy was
Yeah,
like fucking retarded. This was,
he
I think,
didn't
in
win.
2014.
He didn't
He
win.
didn't win, or did he lose it?
He
Oh,
won
okay.
the heavyweights, the
The heavyweights,
75
okay, yeah.
plus, but
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
lost to the little guy,
The
which is
little guy,
insane.
yeah. But I remember back then I was like, holy, this guy's like
Yeah, yeah,
19.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
No, we all
Yeah,
thought that he's gonna be like a future top 5
yeah.
Olympian for sure, and it never really materialized due to different issues. But going back to the top 5, which is the main show, um, yeah, again with Tim, hardest guy, possibly the thickest guy, not the biggest though. There
Mhm.
were bigger guys in Akim and Quint, but especially structurally. But yeah, he really started to remind me of Evan. Like really thick, really big, but just doesn't have the shape that Evan
And doesn't
had.
have the deep lines, It's like
No,
he's
no.
vascular and hard, but he's not like separated.
It's a
It's
shame
hard to
because
explain.
I can see the effort. And
Yeah, yeah,
5
yeah, of
years
course. Yeah,
ago, he was placing second, third in shows in these type of
yeah.
smaller shows, and he improved a lot. Like he's twice the size, and
Mhm.
more mature. But he can't
He's got to be like
he can
255
break
at
it
least.
anymore. I think bodybuilding got a little bit tougher in the last 5 years. Like
100%.
so.
Just look at this lineup for Toronto Pro. This is a good lineup. Usually Toronto Pro first and second are really good. Like even
Yeah,
last
and
year, right? Top three are good, and then the rest is like crap.
yeah,
Here it's like the top
wasn't
10
or
are
was
good.
that or was the Vancouver when it was Hassan, Stanimal, and Nate top 3?
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it was
That was a
Vancouver.
few years ago. Yeah, yeah.
Toronto was
So
Ian
Ian, yeah.
Hassan, and then I
Ian
don't
Hassan,
remember.
that's it. Yeah,
Yeah, I
don't
don't
remember
remember
exactly.
third
Yeah.
place, but yeah, I mean, you're right. It was top 2, and then a massive draw, and maybe 10 guys, 12 guy max. So this is really good to see
For
again.
Toronto Pro, I think this was the most pro guys because the show also ran later, right? Because
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
so
yeah.
many athletes. I mean, if you look at 212 was crazy too. Like really good guys didn't make top five, which is
Yep,
nuts.
yep, 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 yep. It was
So
really
let's go.
packed.
So that we did Tim. So Tim's fifth. I think I agree with the placing. Let's go to fourth. What do you
Yeah,
think of Robin?
it's the right place in which, and the fourth place was, I think nobody had Robin Strand in their
I'll
top
tell
5.
you why I thought Robin was going to be in top four.
Okay,
Robin, okay, structurally, okay, he's got not the best structure. Okay, so everybody knows that. But Robin comes in inside out, super hard, especially from the back. He looks really good. The hams, glutes, his back, very thick. So they definitely rewarded him on the condition. I would say he's probably, it's hard to say, but I talked to some people like that were there. He was the hardest at the show. And I
yeah,
believe it because I've seen him. And he's done pretty well every time he's done the Toronto. So shout outs to his coach, Dorian, and good job for Robin because that was a
yeah.
very good
They
showing.
they brought it. I mean,
Yeah,
like you said, doesn't really translate to the camera as much. I think because the lighting was really washing people out.
yes. Yeah.
So especially with the lighter guys, they didn't, with the lighter tan, they didn't look that hard on camera. but
The
I believe
background
that.
actually looks. The background is the color of the tan, which which
Yeah, yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
look good,
You're
right?
right. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
they're going for that maple leaf type
yeah,
background, but it doesn't make sense because, like you said, it blends in with the tan.
with the tan, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, but as far as Robin goes, yeah, just I mean, to me, the surprise of the show because I didn't expect him there at all, but he finally brought it, and I mean, he looked great 4 weeks ago when I saw some pictures. But you never know,
Mhm.
like what happens in those 4 weeks you can never really guess what's gonna happen. But that being said, like you said, the hardest guy, the only problem is that he's not again doesn't have that crazy amount of muscle that's gonna leapfrog the
Yes,
guys in front of him, and at the same
and
time he doesn't have the shape either or
the
the
shape, yeah,
structure.
is right.
So he has
He's big
enough
though
muscle.
structurally though.
Yeah, I mean he has
Like he,
enough muscle to be up there,
yeah,
and he's really detailed, like a lot of
really detailed.
crazy gnarly detail. But he doesn't have the goods to move up from there.
I think he should do. He's gonna do the next show probably in Vancouver. Him and Quinton.
Oh yeah,
I
for
think they'll do
sure.
good. They'll do well there.
Just keep competing because it obviously it's gonna materialize at some point. And
Yeah,
then in third place, we had John Jewett,
John
who's
Jewett.
I believe that's the fan favorite. Like
He was
everybody
definitely the
likes him.
fan favorite. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
everybody
everybody
likes
likes
him
him.
because he's the guy. Like it seems like he's one of us. Like with his
Yeah, yeah.
content, and like he shares everything that he does, and it's really cool to see, and people resonate with that. And not only that, he backs it up with his physique.
Yeah.
What I believe happened here, I believe that he could have had a better chance for the win if he were just a little bit fuller. I believe that he came, especially from the
Oh,
back.
so you think it's a fullness thing?
I think it's
Okay.
because when I saw him a day or two out,
Mhm.
he wrote something like, I've loaded on 800 grams of carbs or something, and usually he has a crazy sweep, like his squat sweep is like billowing out of
Mhm.
his legs. He's like he was walking towards the camera, and his sweep was pretty like narrow, and I was like, oh, like he seems like really really flat. I think he was never able to completely like be bursting full. That's my opinion. I don't know what you think.
Okay. So I thought first I want to agree with you in terms of why he's a fan favorite. I think the content he does, he's well spoken, he's a smart guy. There's no like BS. He like tells it how it is, and I think it translates with the audience. So I don't think anybody can not like John. So and then also coming from 212, I think he looks better in the open. I think the issue here, what I noticed, and it's hard to tell because of the background. He's kind of washed out. That could be flatness, or maybe I thought maybe over kind of spilled because he was kind of water washy here, and then he was having some issues with the stomach, and then on the back he didn't have the crispness in terms of the detail. Um, so I think that plus the structure because he has kind of like a short, blocky kind of like a branch worn kind of structure, where he's got like the I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like stumpy,
Stocky,
because he's so
it's
short.
stocky,
Yes, yeah,
like
stocky, yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So I think the structure didn't help him. I think for him, he has to be like crazy dry. So then everything accentuates and you see that explosion, right? So I thought it was opposite to what you think. Whatever caused it, I think the result is the same in
Yeah,
terms
yeah,
of what
yeah,
it
yeah,
looked
yeah.
like. I don't know. I personally think he was not dry enough. Maybe you're thinking flatness because if he's fuller, maybe pushes it a little tighter.
Yeah,
I did
that's what I
notice though
think
he got better.
because you can see like the shreds in the glutes, but
Yeah,
they're just not pushing against the skin.
pushing. Yeah.
Like that's why I think it's maybe you can be a little bit flat and a little bit watery at the same time. It can happen. Like
Mhm.
if muscle doesn't soak up the carbs and the
The
water
carbs.
and
Yeah.
fill out, it's gonna go under the skin. So that can be a combination
Hey,
of both.
another thing is and this happens a lot, and most people don't understand this if you haven't competed. The show got delayed a lot, right? So if you're already at the venue and you only got X amount of food and you're lying down, you're fucked. It almost never works out in your favor, right? Unless you're spilled over and you're drying out, right? So I think he might have looked good on the plan time, and then having sitting backstage waiting because the final start. I mean, they got on stage like 4 p.m. Let's say, right, or later even. It's a big difference than what you're planned. Let's say at 1 o'clock. So I know for me personally, every fucking 10 minutes I'm changing. So
Yeah,
so for these
and
guys sitting around for hours and not having a mirror, and you know how the backstage the mirrors are all shit. They got those skinny mirrors that
yeah, yeah,
that make you look like crap. So
and
I think
he's like a surgical type guy.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
believe that he
He probably
probably
planned it
timed it
all. Yeah, yeah,
all on the dot, but that's also part of pro bodybuilding, like the Olympia gets
yeah, yeah.
moved like also like
Days.
3 or 4 hours, it
Yeah, yeah.
happens, so you have to be ready for that, but it's tough. Um, and then in terms of like a lot of people again were saying that he maybe should have won and stuff, but I don't see he doesn't have like the size or the structure like like you say he comes from the 212s, so I think this is an amazing result for him.
The what I don't get is the comments online had him like people were still adamant that he should have won. Like, come on. Like before the show, I get your predictions. I thought also he could win, right? But he was clearly, third or fourth. Like there's no disputing that. And so when I see these comments, they're like, "Oh, I don't know how he lost to Quinton." I'm like, "What fucking show are you guys watching?"
Yeah, 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 no,
Because it's
no,
so
he
I
didn't
think
have he didn't have the structure. Maybe if he was like lights out
peeled
100%, like
exactly
coming out like the second coming of, I don't know, Hadi
branch.
Tupan,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or
yeah. You
Branch,
gotta
yeah, maybe. But otherwise, I think third place is amazing for him. It was
is
a good
amazing. Yeah,
lineup, and like any further in that, I think he should be happy with it. Going on to top two, we had your boy, your friend Quinton in second, and then Akim in first. I'm gonna talk
first.
about them at the same time because they compare them a lot. They switch them around, left, right, try to compare them. So I haven't unfortunately seen the scorecards yet. I don't know if it was close. Was it
Oh,
close?
I'll tell you the scorecards. It was 3-3. So 3-3,
Oh,
total
so
six for Akim.
it
So
was a
sweep. So,
blowout. Yeah.
well, not blowout. First straights first, and then the second was same thing. So 6-6 for Quinton,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then it was 9-9. So
Yeah.
all the
Okay.
judges had them first, second, third.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it was like
Yeah.
it's an unanimous
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that means that it wasn't close, I guess, in their eyes. I think it was definitely, I thought that a few judges would disagree with each other, but in terms of them comparing, like I think Akeem is just had more density and more thickness from the front and side, and then from the
Yes.
back, Quint
Exactly.
was better, but he wasn't harder.
Yes.
So it
Like
didn't,
perfect. Exactly.
yeah, it wasn't enough for Quint to, and it's not like Akeem is like an unshapely mess. He
Yeah.
still has incredible shape from the front, like the X Factor and then the
Yeah.
crazy quads and the insane arms. So it's as bad as he was from the back. Sorry if you're watching. Uh, uh, from the side and front, it was just a little bit too much for Quinn to handle.
No, no, I agree 100%. Like the thing with Akeem, especially if you're up close, like these pictures made everybody look kind of soft, right? But he was still hard as nails in those shitty pictures, right? And from the side, like you could see it was like cement. And then from the front,
Mm.
even same thing with those quads. He does have a small waist and he's got a good taper, crazy arms. His abs, they're oddly shaped, but they were hard, like in condition.
Yeah,
So the only thing was the back. It was hard, but like he's got the high lats, and I didn't like the way he posed the legs, like the positioning of the footing, because he could have showed more leg sweep if he put that leg out more rather than kind of straight out. but that's
Yeah.
still nitpicking. Quinton from the back looked a lot better. Like you could see, I don't know if you've seen the video side by side. Quinton is fucking like twice as big, width
I
wise and
saw it. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, good condition, but like you said, condition is one thing, but hardness is a different thing. So Quint still has kind of like new looking muscle.
Yeah. He still had that thick skin type look from the
Yeah,
back, and it just wasn't like you said,
yeah,
like Quinn's back like literally twice the size
yeah.
of what.
And Akim's like he's been a top six Olympia, right, guy, and he's like won a million shows, and
Yeah,
he's turned pro like I think 2014 he won the North American, so he's been a pro for a long time. So he's not a rookie. Yeah,
but like I told you, like when we talked before the show, he was third at the finals at the Arnold Classic Europe, sorry, UK.
UK, yeah,
And I knew that if this guy nails it, which he did, uh, thanks to Cito, he really brought it. Like after like what 4 or 5 years again. Like the last time he looked this good was 2020 Olympia when he was sixth, like you mentioned.
yeah,
And like to run into one of the best Akims and still giving him a run for
yes,
his money is absolutely insane. And I believe that the comments were crazy, like for Quinton, like, oh, he missed,
yeah. This is
he got rid of Aceto just to get worse. The conditioning is what it is. He couldn't fix the conditioning in like what 3 weeks. Like that's
yeah,
that's impossible. Like the only thing he could fix is his fullness, and that's really it. Like he needs another off season and another prep to bring a completely different look. But is this an improvement from New York Pro? Yes, it is. Like he
yeah,
looked.
yeah. It's
If he
to
did,
say
if he
no.
looked like he did at the New York
But
Pro, if he looked like that here, he would have been fifth
he would have been fifth, 100%. And
or
so
sixth, maybe.
no, 100%. He would have been possibly out of the first call out. So the fact that, and as you said, the condition is there. It's just, it's not maybe his best condition, but the balance of fullness was good because he had. So let's say he was in good condition, but not let's say extreme condition. Fullness and size was way better because he wasn't flat up here, which is and he was popping right. He got better actually as he posed. Talking about Quinton, by the way, in case people are wondering.
Yeah.
As he
Oh, yes.
posed, he got better, and tighter. His posing improved a lot. I still think there's some things he can do to make himself look bigger because he's so tall. If he sits up high on the side chest. So the hams, when you're beside Akeem, who's got fucking horse side legs, if Quinton, I think, sat a little bit lower and tightened the glutes more, it would show more of a. Because he beat him on the upper body, surprisingly, because that was the knock on Quinton, right? The upper body. But if you look at the side chest, you look at Quinton from the top on the side chest, across he looked bigger, better than Akeem, which was,
He needs,
a
yeah,
big achievement.
he needs to work on his posing. Yeah. I mean, from the front,
It got better though. It got better. It's just
it did.
still,
No, it's
yeah,
it's easier. Like how hard it is to pose when you're really flat. When you
yeah.
like
Of
take
course,
those morning pictures and stuff. So when he was really flat in New York,
yeah,
like of course your posing sucks because you just it's hard to pose flat.
yeah. No,
But
no, true.
here, he could pose big. He had the confidence. You could see the confidence oozing, and I mean, if
Like lat
if he
spread.
was picked
What do
for
you
the
think of the lat
win,
spread?
if he was picked for the win, I think a lot of industry insiders wouldn't have a problem with that because they see what's going on. But I think the fans would burn the house down. That's what
Oh
I
yeah.
that's
But
what I
those
think
same
would happen.
fans didn't think that Akeem would have won, right? There's fans didn't even know who Akeem is probably. Because Akeem,
Yeah,
by the way, I
yeah,
like
yeah,
him.
yeah,
He's super quiet, doesn't say shit. He came, he
yeah.
handled the business. I think Quinton on some of the shots, like when he does a straight front double by without the twisted leg, it looks better to me. He looks way better because with the legs, if you're sticking them out, you get it. They're gonna look even thinner, right?
Yeah, yeah.
To do kind of like a Chris Cormier front of a bicep, it doesn't work as well um, on the quads for him. I think if he does kind of legs a little bit closer, standard front of a bicep, standard front lat spread. If you see when he does it, it looks crazy. So I think a little bit of posing improvement. If he gets a touch harder for Vancouver, he's easily going to win. I
Yeah,
don't know
now
who
he
else is doing
filled
it, but
out. Now he filled out. He
yeah,
can maybe work a little bit more on his conditioning again.
yeah, like
And
5%.
yeah, he could fight for the win if he fixes his posing a little bit. He's definitely in contention, unless another Olympia level physique comes in and nails it and beats him. Which I how many times can that happen? I mean, it happened to him so many
I don't.
times by now.
I think
So
this. Yeah. So now that Akim's out of the picture, I don't know if he's going to do another show, but these other guys will probably do Vancouver. I know Chicago's got a lot of good guys, so they're not. I don't think they're doing Vancouver. So I think Quinton here, like put it this way, this Quinton would have been like top three at the New York. I think like this look of his. He could have. I think he would have beaten Stu.
possibly,
Um,
yeah.
I think he would have beaten what's his name, Amir, just because I like Quinton's structure better, even though Amir is like crazy peeled.
Yeah,
So I think, sorry, that was California. Yeah, yeah. So
California.
either way, I think this Quinton in Vancouver is gonna do really good.
Yep,
But as you said, overall, I think he needs another 10, 15 pounds with
that's a
like
lot
crazy
though.
condition, yeah. But it's doable because like he gets big easily.
Yeah,
So if he got the 320 something in the off season with good abs and good structure still, that means like he doesn't have to lose 60 pounds or 70 pounds. That makes no
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think he could easily be like 275 to 280 next time with a good off season.
Agreed. With Akeem going into the Olympia, do you have any expectations for him doing anything, or do you think he's
And for
the top
I
10
don't think
contender?
honestly, I this is not the best Akeem to me, not condition wise, because I just feel like his body. There's some I don't know if it's because of the injuries, like his delts don't have that crazy pop they used to. The arms, yeah, they're crazy, but like the shape is odd and the quads. I've seen it better, like maybe because he was younger. So
Hmm.
if he goes, let's say he looks like this and goes to Olympia, top 10 this Olympia is gonna be fucking hard. There's way too many crazy guys, and they got good shape. So you got big guys like Hunter, you got Andrew, guys like that with good shape that are gonna struggle to be in the top six. So
Yeah,
it's not
I
gonna.
agreed.
It's gonna be a
Agreed.
fucking. It's gonna. This Olympia is gonna be one of the hardest Olympias if you look
Most
at
likely,
depth.
yeah.
Yeah,
To make top 10 here would be a
top
crazy
10 would be an
achievement.
yeah would be an achievement.
So
So I think
he's
he
been
he could
competing.
maybe towards the end.
Yeah, he had that accident, like you mentioned. He had some injuries that he had to fix. So I think maybe making top 10 again would be a really good thing for him. Like he has made top 10 since I don't know how long, so it'll be a good comeback. With that being said, let's wrap it up. And the next show is Vancouver and the M Pro.
And Pro's gonna be interesting. I mean,
Yep.
if Bonac is in it, and there's gonna be some good guys, man, in the M Pro.
Yep.
I still think though. By the way, what do you think of William? How does he look to you?
I
I think he's
think
gonna win.
my opinion. I mean, but others don't. I think that he's just doing damage limitation by now. I think his prime is in the past, and he's just trying to bring the best of what he can at this point. And I think he's bringing it, and it's still going to be dangerous for a show of this level. But do I think he's going to
I,
be a top six threat at the Olympia again? I highly doubt it.
I'd say this. I would agree with that comment last year, but to me, this year, the stomach is his best it's looked. So I don't know what he's done to fix the stomach, the look, and the condition. Most of the size is there to me. The quads maybe a little bit, but I still think top 10 for sure he's gonna do it. Top six is gonna be difficult. He is doing the Empro, yeah,
Okay,
Grizzo. So it's
very
gonna be a
good.
good lineup, man. All
Yep.
right, nice
Yep.
chatting.
All right. Good talking to you, and stay tuned, guys.